Good evening. This is the second division footy show for the MPNFL, and it's a great pleasure to be here tonight. And thank you very much to Lockie Batten, who is our guest tonight, thanks to Growth Syndicates Australia, on the second division footy show. I'm getting very excited here, Wayne Capp and Chris Holcomb, as I say good evening to you again, because I've been allowed by Lockie and by Brett Deledio, even though Lockie hasn't met him yet, and by Neil Craig and by Barry Parsons and everyone else involved with the Devon Meadows Footy Club to wear the number that the great Brett Deledio, former Richmond and GWS star, will be wearing in his first game as the marquee player for the Devon Meadows Football Club on Sunday as part of Anzac Day. And, of course, we're mentioning Anzac Day a lot on our GameFace Game Day record, lest we forget. It is a standalone game for the Devon Meadows Football Club as they do battle against Mornington. Wearing the number 3. Will I turn around? No, I won't be able to turn around because I'll probably pull.
Don't turn around,
what I'll do is, mate, I'll probably pull all the particular leads out of the socket, so I won't do that. But Lockie Batten, great to have you with us.
Thanks, mate.
You're an idiot, Chris. Thanks so much for letting me wear this jumper. I'll take it off a little bit later on.
What I reckon, when they auction that jumper now, it's added value. Not only
it's added no value. I'm worried about it'll take about $500
That's why
off.
I brought it.
You might need to wash it, though. It looks like you slagged all over the
No, I haven't. I have not. Now, I love it. If you, those that can see, if you can get the camera in a bit, Tommy and Reese, they've obviously got helicopters there indicating war. It's just a magnificent jumper. You must be proud that you get an opportunity to wear it, Lockie, on the weekend. Here we go. We're getting close up to it now. It's a ripper.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait. Obviously, the only game on Sunday, and it's a privilege to play on such a special day. And, you see the jumper there. There's a message behind it, so I can't wait to run out there with the boys and hopefully get the win. So, yeah.
And you haven't met Brett yet? You meet him tomorrow night, I believe.
Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait. I've got a little speech ready for him. I'm a little bit of a fanboy of Brett, so I can't wait. No, I'm not a Tiger supporter, but I love. Yeah, my mum's very excited. She's a Tiger supporter, so I'm going to have to rope her off in some little section and protect him. But yeah, can't wait.
Has Neil Craig, as the coach, spoken to you guys about what Brett's role is likely to be, or Brett will do what Brett needs to do? Do you think?
No, we haven't really spoke about it as of much. I'm sure we will tomorrow night when he gets down there, but I don't think we need to really complicate it too much, obviously, of the calibre of Brett Deledio. So, yeah, we'll just get down there tomorrow night, meet him, say hi, and, yeah, we'll just go from there, but can't wait. So
yeah, it's going to be fantastic. So it's been a big weekend in footy in second division. We'll talk more about the big Anzac Day clash with Lockie Batten, and so far a good start to his career at Devon Meadows. Kringle and Langwarren played out a thriller tie, now the only winless team in Division 2 after a day to forget against Seaford. And who would have thought it at the start of the year that Rise, undefeated after 3 rounds, will have the much anticipated most valuable team thanks to the Frankston RSL for Division 2. And of course we preview round 4 for the Telstra Business Technology Centre of South Melbourne. 2019 or 2018, you're in the MPNFL with Edith Val Aspendale. You went back to Doveton, played in the Premiership in 2019 in the new Outer East competition in First Division. What was that like going back there? And you had a bit of a hero of mine, being a Bulldog supporter, Matty Boyd, lining up for Doveton. That must have been very special for you.
That was unreal. Just the experience of, playing with someone who's played at such a high level for so long, and he was playing with the Bulldogs not many years before that. So I never would have thought I'd play alongside him, and to win the flag that year, obviously growing up at Doveton, it's sort of been a childhood dream of mine. So to win that day it's definitely etched in the heart, and I'll be very appreciative for that, for a long time. So
playing with Doveton, your old man, running around there, you were as a kid would have been kicking around in the rooms with, the greats like your old man and Westerman or guys like that.
Yep.
It would have been amazing to be around those sorts of guys.
Yeah, it was, and especially on the grand final day, every one of those guys were there. So you see all the old faces, and I was this tall, and to see them supporting us, it was unreal. The emotion was just ridiculous. So
yeah, fantastic.
It was very special. Yeah.
I called a large portion of Doveton's games late in the season, and the defence became fantastic. I watched Matty Boyd closely because he's such a good player. I mean, he's a kick behind the play, but he's virtually a playing coach out in the field.
Yeah.
Daniel Charles gave him licence, didn't he, to just do what he needed to do, pointing here, pointing there, telling players what to do. I mean, his voice must have been important.
It was, and you see them play, even the top players in like this sort of football, they've just got that extra 1 or 2 seconds. and he was the same. Like, he just come out of a pack or just a handball along the ground and would just open play up. So, you know, that's why I went to him a lot for advice, and he helped me so much. And yeah, forever grateful for it. So it was good.
Tell us about Devon so far. You've been okay. You've won 2, you've lost 1. I thought you were pretty competitive in tough conditions against Rye. That was a pretty tough old day. I thought you played okay that day, and look, their form is excellent. You've had 2 wins, beaten teams you probably should beat. So it's been an okay start to the year.
Yeah, no, it was obviously very cold and windy at Rye, and just before half-time, one of their boys went down, and we waited 40 minutes for an ambulance. So I was a bit surprised we actually went out again. But, you know, he's good, I think. So that wasn't good to watch. But, yeah, up till three-quarter time, it was real close, and it was a hard-fought game. But, you know, they come out on top at the end with 5 goals. And
the way Rye's going, that loss isn't looking as bad now.
No,
because, you know, Rye's undefeated. You know, and, you know, they're proving themselves to be a really good footy team. So that performance, you know, probably now looks right. You know, you're sitting 2-1 and going really well.
No, we're very happy. I think we're with where we're at, and obviously we've picked up a lot of new people, so it's not going to change overnight. We're not going to get that. You know, it's going to take a few games for us to gel, and I think we're in the right direction.
So what are the expectations for this year, mate? Because I know Cappy and Dan don't rate you guys at all.
That's rubbish.
I do.
That is the biggest load of rubbish of all time. You are a shocker.
No.
I know I've fallen for that, and you've got me hook, line,
Didn't you
and
pick
sinker.
Crib Point to beat
But
them
I
last
speak
week?
to Neil Craig, their coach, a lot, and I do admire him. I think he's fantastic. You are a disgrace, Mr. Holcomb.
So
Away you go, though.
Where do you reckon you're at? You reckon you're a final side this year? Is that what you're pushing for?
Definitely. I think that's why you play footy. You want to achieve the highest, you know, awards, and as a group we're striving to get there. So I think, you know, finals is our goal, and then if we do, well, we go from there. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
Lockie's played a lot of good footy too. You're at Sandy for a while as well. You were with me in the interleague side up at Northern. I think he was best on ground that day. Lockie played when he was about 21. But how close were you at Sandy to breaking through up there?
I played a few senior games, but I was mainly development. Yeah. It was a few, you know, good footballers. Obviously, everyone's a good footballer, but with St Kilda as well, it was hard with the affiliation, and then they got rid of development. So, it was a bit harder, but enjoyed the time there. Loved it. Great club. So it was a good experience.
And you had a year down at EDASP in 2018.
Yep.
How did you go down there?
I enjoyed it. Obviously, Graham Yates was our coach, and he started me when I was 16 at the Stingrays, and I loved him all the way through. He was just black or white, and that's the way I love being coached. So we got along really well, and we had a pretty good list that year, and obviously YC beat us in the final, and that was a pretty close game. So
is that why you brought it up?
I was hoping you would.
I think so. That's,
you are hopeless, mate.
Coached well, apparently.
Kathy always says he coaches well. Now, Lockie Batten is with us here for Great Sydney against Australia, and they had a good win on the weekend, boys, against an improving Crib Point. We had their coach, Steve Hamill, here last week, and he said it's important that they keep developing and they want to develop a winning culture. But, look, Devon is probably maybe a little bit ahead in their development, 10-16-76. Crib Point 7-10-52. Did you feel, when you look at that margin, which is 24 points at the game, is a little bit closer than that, Lockie?
Oh, I think the whole day was a pretty good game. I think the first half they were up. They had a bit more momentum, I think. But then after the second half, we come out like a new team. And it was a big day for the club. Obviously, there were a couple of things, you know, through the week. The passing of young Jason Langhams. He was a Devon boy. So, and then there was another family there, Kyle Mack, his family were there who passed away. So it was a bit of a dedication to them. And it was an emotional day for the club. And, you know, going out before the game, there were a few tears, and so I think there was a bit more riding on that game for the club, and it was awesome to get the result. So.
Footy clubs are great getting behind each other in that situation, and obviously Devon Meadows have had a couple of issues, well, not issues, but hard things happen to them, but the club's really rising above it and being behind each other all the way there. Yeah. That was a strong win against a club that, Crib Point, probably thought they were a big chance as well. You know, they were 1-1, and to get over them, I think it's a good start for you guys.
Did you get a rocket at half-time or not? Because it looks like you come out after, because you contested possession, you smashed them in after half-time, and pressure acts went through the roof, and I think you were plus 39 on that as well. So did you get a rocket, or was it the boys getting together and just saying...
I think so, yeah. It was,
pull our finger out and have a crack here.
I think there were just a few messages, you know. let's go out there and show them what we really got.
Yeah.
There was a good crowd there, and as I said, there was emotion there. So it was like we had a function that night too. So it was like, let's after the game have a win and let's just enjoy the night. So I think that was definitely, it was a very good win. So
Lockie had a great game, 3 goals, 19 touches. Isaac Barassi, who is related to the great man in some capacity, kicked 2, while the Hillis brothers are having outstanding years. Joel, 34 touches. Rory had 5 clearances from 22 disposals. Harry de Kluver had a pretty good day. We'll look at some of the highlights now for the Magpies. Kicked 2 goals, and Brad Arnold, again, solid with 22 touches. What are you finding about the footy club at Devon Meadows that might be different to other footy clubs you've been to? And you've been to a few, of course, which is all part of your experience and development and growth as a person.
There is obviously a lot of new faces at the club now, and I think they're just going through a rebuild, and there's been a message throughout, the start of the year that we think that with where the club's at now, that this is their opportunity to start something. So it could be the start to something, a rebuild, and it's obviously not going to change over 1 or 2 years, but we could be the group to really kickstart that, pathway for younger kids coming through, and there's a massive opportunity for us now. So I think, with a lot of new faces and new people in the club, we've got the right people now. So I think it's just onwards and upwards. So. And
Neil Craig as coach, what do you like about him as coach?
Yeah, I love Neil. He's very passionate about what he does, and he's got messages that he really tries to instill in the group, and he sticks by him. You can't question his passion about the club, and he loves everyone. So I love him as a coach, and he's a good person too. So
we spoke to Neil last year when we had some shows on without any footy, obviously, and I remember Neil talking about the main thing they wanted to do was retain the under-19 guys and the young fellas, make sure that they weren't tempted to go elsewhere, and it seems that that's worked. Like, you've got a really good group there now, and once you get all those mates playing together, staying together, they'll grow older together and get strong. And
I think they said they've got about 35 kids to pick from. So
wow, that's fantastic.
It's massive, and that's where you start the senior clubs, the youth coming through, and that's where you build from. So
it's good.
Definitely, good start. So
when you have a passionate president like Barry Parsons, certainly helps, doesn't it? He works very, very hard.
Yeah, he does a lot of work behind closed doors, Baz, and he's helped me a lot as well. And he lives around the corner from where I do, so it's good to go around there and have a chat if I need to. And he's always there with open doors, and they're just good people, so can't question it.
Now, the most valuable team in second division for the Frankston RSL, the back line, Nick Strickland, Rye, Tom Backman, arguably one of the recruits of the year, coming from the Southern Football League, doing brilliantly for Hastings at fullback. Zane Carter's averaging 30 possessions a game for Chelsea. Half-back line, Nick Mason, Somerville, Luke Rose, Somerville, and Connor Benwell having a good year for Pearsdale. On the wings, Matt Herbert of Seaford and Blake Peach of Langwarren. Matt Blair in the ruck for Coringal. Zach Andrew Arthur having a sensational season, averaging 32 possessions for Langwarren. Tom Curran doing likewise for the Bulls. Joel Hillis, the teammate of Lockie Batten from Devon Meadows. Tim Broomhead at half forward, the former Magpie with Seaford. Luke Hewitt at centre half forward, kicked 4 last week for Hastings. Cruz West doing well for Pearsdale as well. Aaron Walton in the forward pocket. Jackson Calder, 18 goals from 3 games. And Chad Mulvogue in the other forward pocket for Langwarren. On the bench, Nick Rowson from Rye, Nick Strickland from Rye, and Matt Hill from Rye, along with Joel Wiskin from Crib Point. So a pretty good team.
Is there any room on the bench for the guy who's leading the ranking points? Macklin Rain's dominating for Seaford and can't get a gig.
I think Macklin Rain goes in, because unless there are 2 Nick Strickland's in the back pocket.
No, he doesn't go in. He's too busy with his acting career in Game of Thrones, holding the door.
Oh, come on.
Hold the door! Hold the door! No, I didn't put him in this week because I think Matt Blair's been the better ruckman, and I don't rate ruckman, so I'll only have him on.
You've got Nick Strickland twice.
It's Damien Rayson.
Damien Rayson. Okay.
Rayson.
Right, Damien Rayson. Well, he's a very good player for Seaford.
Oh, thanks.
You're a bit disappointed, Lockie, not in that team? Hogs picked it.
No, that's all right.
He'll be right. It goes on form, Dan.
I know. He's been good.
Got a cork in the first game. Did you get a cork in the first game?
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
just before
see, I'm all over it. Now he's just starting to warm in. You see round 5, 6, he could sneak his way in. It's about consistency in Div 2.
As long as we keep getting the wins, that's all that matters.
There we go.
Tell us about Joel Hillis. Why is he such a good player?
Where do I start?
Start
he's
anywhere you like, mate.
He's a ripper, Joel. He's passionate. He's our vice captain, and his standard from day dot is just, he's hard to tackle. You can't tackle him. One of the boys tackled him at training last week, and he actually got a fine for tackling him. So that's how well he's going. And
God, he's up there.
Yeah, but he just, he's a bull, Jolly, and he hunts the ball and he gets the ball too, and he's
not that old either.
He's my age.
Is he that old?
My age, yeah.
Does he cop a tag most weeks, or?
I haven't really noticed.
Yeah.
He still gets the ball, so I'm not sure if he's copped tags, but he's getting a lot of attention, and he's still producing.
Is this year the first year he's worn a helmet, or did you want a
helmet?
No,
he's always worn a helmet.
Oh, has he?
Yeah,
right.
I believe so.
It's photo tracking, that's why he puts it on. No other reason.
So I'm going to have to start wearing one, and hopefully they get me to start with. Give me some stats.
Now, Langwarrin equal first on the ladder thanks to a tight win over Coringal. It was a low-scoring affair between the two sides. Langwarrin kicked 1 goal 4 in the last quarter to come away with a 6-point win, but it was 7-16-58. Coringal 8-4-52, so 23 scoring shots to 12. Andrew Arthur, noticeably quieter this week, but still had 21 after 47 last week and 30 in the opening game of the season. Josh Dormer and Matt Payenberg were the only multiple goal kickers on either side, kicking 2 each for the Kangaroos. Tom Curran having a very good year, the ex-St Kilda player, 32 possessions for Coringal. Scott Jansen very solid with 22 touches and 6 inside 50s. And Mark Bagley again was tagged, and that might be the modus operandi, Cappy, in regard to how clubs approach him this year, and he's struggling with it as well.
Yeah, well, that's the way he's got to work it out. He's an experienced player. He'll work it out. They've got a good coaching panel. They can do 2 things. They can work out how to stop the tag and free him up, or Bagley can take it on, and other boys can do the job. So, but I just, what a recruit Tom Curran's been for Coringal.
Oh, he's a gun, mate.
He's killing them. And Coringal have been, they're going well. They're looking really good. And
so they're surprising you. They have been pretty competitive.
Yeah.
We've got the highlights here.
Sure.
They didn't look good in
At
round 1.
Bellin' Park.
They looked rubbish.
No.
They did. And good on Lukey Forsyth for actually getting on the track and actually tinkering with a couple of things. And now you've got what we think, or I think, is probably the best side in second division. And they're running them right to the hilt without Bryce Kellerman either, because Kellerman didn't play on the weekend.
Well, that's an out.
I think he was out buying some new shoes because he loves his wheels, Bryce.
A bit like his old man, mate.
Yeah, no, he was out buying some wheels.
Yeah.
But Tom Curran's just a gun, mate. What else did I have there? Baggers, I don't think's warmed right up yet. And seriously, yeah.
But he is struggling with the tag.
No, I don't think he's playing
don't think he
forward.
is?
He's got a backman on him.
Yeah.
Every forward's got a back on him. I just think that...
Well, why doesn't Josh play in midfield, or Blake and Josh play in
Well,
midfield?
does he want to? I think he just says what he wants to do, and he can just do whatever. But I reckon that Baggers has got another gear, and I reckon he's just warming into it. It's a long season, and he's not a young spring chicken. I think he's just trying to find his feet.
But it is interesting that, the last couple of weeks he's had 2 solid tags, and, we've expected Bagley to come in and dominate.
Yeah.
And he hasn't. And, now they've got to find a way to make use of it.
But like I said, I reckon he's got another gear. I've watched him play live, and I watched him play when they played the Summy game, and there's more in the tank. And I reckon that he's just in a bit of cruise control at the moment, and I reckon that once he turns it on, I reckon it'll be pretty explosive. I reckon he's just holding a bit back at the moment.
It's great, Lockie, to have players of that calibre in the comp like Mark Bagley and Tom Curran, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I played a couple of games with Tommy Curran at Sandringham.
Yeah, would have.
Because he was in and out of St Kilda.
Yeah,
so he was another person I'd sort of sponged off as well, and he helped me a lot too. So, yeah, he's a gun, definitely. Can't wait to play against him. So.
They had... Langy had McGuinness back and Patterson.
No, McGuinness isn't playing.
I thought I saw him on there. Might have been another error that I saw in the stats today. But
Shane Patterson was always coming back.
McGuinness will be back about round 12, 13, I hear.
Yeah.
But they're in a good position because they've started well. Now, Tyab is still winless after Seaford's big win. They started well. They led by 12 points at quarter time, but Seaford regained their composure. They led by 28 at half time, the Tigers, and they seriously piled on the goals after half time to win by a big margin of 86 points Tim Broomhead kicked 4 goals from 28 touches for 154 ranking points. Seaford had 12 individual goal kickers. Ishak Bashir also impressive with 32 disposals and 10 clearances for the match. Luke Stanton kicked 2 for the Yabbies. Ethan Raleigh continues to be impressive. He had 32 possessions at 87% efficiency for 136 ranking points thanks to Premier Data. Tired now, the only winless team in Division 2. What do we expect from here? 8-7-55 to 21-15, 141.
Bit worried about Tyab. That's a absolute butt kicking.
What's gone wrong?
Seaford are all right, though.
Good side.
Seaford are top 3-4 side in second division. Don't get that wrong. And Broomhead is a gun. Like, seriously, he started warming up against Mornington when I watched him play live. 4 goals, 28 touches. And he's playing through predominantly mid-half forward. That's a good day out. Yeah, so Seaford, don't worry about them. They're right. They're on the right track. Tyab, lucky they've got Ethan Rahili in there because he's flying the flag for him at the moment. They've got a few young players, but it's going to be very competitive in second division.
Yeah, it's disappointing. Like I reckon a lot of the Abbey supporters were, optimistic before the start of the season, and to be zipping 3 now, and they've come up against a good team, as you said, but they really need to, pick the pieces up from what's happened so far, and make a better job of it next week.
Yes, it's not been the start that they were looking for. They were okay in round 2. They kicked badly, but now they've sort of they take one step forward and a couple of steps back.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world, this loss.
It's not.
But it's just, it's on the top of a couple of others that, the bad kick in the week before, So they need a win. They'll get one. They'll get it soon, and then they'll be off.
I think it says more about Seaford, actually, seriously, because they've had...
They're going well.
Yeah, they've got Rayson, Van Sittart, Herbert. They're all near.
They've got some great players, yeah.
Yeah.
And Macklin Rain, who you can't fit in your team. But,
he's too busy acting, so I can't fit him in if it's his second career.
This is what I've got to put up with every week, Lockie. Now, we thank Lockie Batten for being here for Grey Syndicates Australia for the Devon Meadows Footy Club. They've got a standalone game against Mornington. For those that have just joined us, welcome on the MPNFL Division 2 footy show. And I'm wearing Brett Delidio's jumper. I'm a pretty clean individual, so I won't smell any different to what it smelled before I put it on. It's a magnificent looking jumper. You can see the jumper and the back of it as well. It's got number 3, Delidio's number, which he wore brilliantly throughout a great career at Richmond and also GWS, where he had a few injuries, but at the Tigers he was an All-Australian, he was a triple best and fairest. He played some brilliant footy but left them just when they became the champion team that they are now, but he'll be playing a couple of games for the Devon Meadows Footy Club, and the first one will be Anzac Day on Sunday against Mornington. Talking of Mornington, as we go around the grounds, and they defeated Hastings. They weren't all that impressive, though, Hulks. 10-11-71, 8-10-58. They kicked 4 goals in the last quarter to win by 13 points. Scores were level at three-quarter time. Lockie Susevich went at 100% efficiency from his 22 touches. Jackson Calder kicked 60 now, has 18 for the season. And Luke Hewitt kicked 4 goals for the Blues. And Ben King had 32 hit-outs. Not a bad effort by Hastings. Mornington got the job done, though.
Yeah, no, it was only in the last 10 minutes because that score was even with 6-7 minutes to go, and then they only kicked a few late. So it was a fantastic effort from Hastings without Rogash again out. But we talked about last week, Jacko getting on a bigger ground. He had 20 touches and kicked 6. And I don't
having a good year, isn't he?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, he's got a few more gears. So you get him on the bigger grounds, and it's going to be diabolical, but he's a catalyst at the moment that's carrying Mornington over the line. It's not.
So you reckon they're struggling?
They're not playing well. I don't reckon Mornington going well, but they're winning, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But Hastings, they've got a heap of injuries.
It reminds me of a story many moons ago, just before I started working at 3HA Hamilton, and
Jeanette's going to kill me. Well,
she wants to hear the story. Your lovely wife. They crossed to a guy around the grounds at one of the games at 3HA Hamilton in the Western Border Comp. Hamilton and Portland and all those, Hayward, etc. Yes,
Mount Gambier, Casterton.
Mount Gambier, Casterton, yeah. And they said, let's go to Leo O'Brien at Hamilton. He said, well, Darren Pickett is kicking goals out of his hash, and they lead by 19 points. And the two commentators, they cross back to them at their game at Casterton, and they've fallen off the chair. They were in tears. Well done, Cavi. You did very well.
We love your stories, Dan. We love them.
I saved that. But Hastings have got a lot out. So, they've got guys to come in. They'll be better. And I think, Mornington would be very happy that they got the points there. I don't think their performance would have been that great.
Well, Jacko hasn't kicked 6 and had 20.
They're in trouble.
They're done. They're finished.
Who's going to get the job on Jackson Calder, Lockie? Because he's obviously going to be a key, isn't he?
Yes. There's a couple of names. Maybe Lee. Sorry. Oh, done it too.
That's okay.
Lee
no,
Craig,
no
son.
problems.
Lee
No
Craig.
problems.
Lee Craig, the coach's son, or Michael D'Agostino, maybe. So
We all make errors.
Taller
These
options.
things happen. For the little kids listening, we apologise for the language, but it was a mistake. That's okay. It'll be tough, though, because he's in great form, isn't he?
yeah, he's red hot, and that's what I said before. I played that year at Interleague, and he played well then, so he's definitely one to watch. So yeah,
It's going to be a good game. That game, if they can shut down Jacko, and you guys are playing pretty good footy.
yeah.
It's going to be. It could be an upset here.
Hopefully a great crowd, too.
Jacko kicks under 2, Devon win.
Yeah, for sure.
Has
Now
that for pressure on the
That'll be in the
Yeah,
fine
yeah.
jar, won't it, for that little mistake? I
I'm
would
sure
have
it will
thought.
be.
Yeah,
Hopefully
absolutely.
they're not watching.
No, that'll add to the conference.
No one watches much, so don't
That's
worry.
all right. You can watch it again. It's on the app, mate.
Now, Rye still on top of the table after a 20-point win over Somerville. They led by 1 point at three-quarter time. Big last quarter, and they finished well too against Devon the previous week, a game that I called with Leo Gronewegan for GameFace. All 6 coming from different players, which indicates they're very even across the board. Jordan Capp can kick 2 for the Demons. Oscar Whitty, 2 from 22 touches. James Egan kicked 4 for Somerville. Tom Roberts had 39 hitouts for 158 ranking points. Now, some of you have got injuries. Rye are flying and in very good form at the moment, boys.
There's 2 stories out of this, obviously.
Yep.
There he is.
How good are Rye going?
Yep.
3 and zip. All of a sudden, we've got to really pay them some respect about where they're sitting now, and beating Somerville is a feather in their cap. Somerville we thought would be a finals team. That's the other part of the story. Are they really? They haven't done anything to impress so far this season. So, Rye 3-0, full of confidence and flying at the moment. Somerville the opposite.
And Pearcedale this week, who we'll talk about in a minute, who obviously are improving, but you'd back Rye to make it 4-zip. And then it gets harder after that, but they've got the early wins on the board, Cappy, which helps, doesn't it?
They've done exactly what they would want. And, no one can... They've beaten everyone in front of them, and now they're on top of the ladder. Good luck to them.
You're 100% right. This is the one, because they actually had to really stand up and go against a side that were rated. Capkin, we spoke about him last week, that he's a really good player. Kicked another 3. Oscar Whitty's obviously a good player. Tieran Head hasn't warmed up yet. He's still sitting in the back line. Just sitting in the background and hasn't really fired a shot. Kirkwood
hasn't played yet.
Hasn't played since the first 5 minutes. Has he played the first 5 minutes?
I don't think he played at all.
So there's a couple to come back in. Really, really encouraging for Rye.
And they've got the big ruckman too. He's outstanding.
But Roberts won the ruck battle on the weekend. Roberts was nearly best on for Summy and beat McGowan. So McGowan can hold his own against the big ones like Big Red and things like that in the comp. So they're great. And the worrying thing for Summy, obviously, is that Rowe again was best with them for 19 touches and 6 marks. Gillis was again the best. Nathan in the middle, and Williams had 22. And Meso was really good down back again. They're their best every week. They're not getting him from that middle rung of players at all, and their forward line is still not functioning right without Fermanus. A bigger hole than what we thought that they were.
And Hagenberg's out for at least 12 weeks at this stage.
You wouldn't
even worry about it.
They've got to find a way to win without him. Yeah. And I think Fermanus coming back in, they just need him back in quick, smart, because they're really battling without him forward.
Now, you said before there are 2 stories here. There are 2 stories in this game as well, Pearcedale and Chelsea. They win their first game since round 1, 2019. Well done to the Pearcedale Panthers. Another even game at three-quarter time, but they kicked 5 goals with diversity in their scoring being the difference. Love that word in
Good
footy,
word,
diversity.
yeah.
Well done, boys. Good on you, Tommy. Luke Daniels and Cruz West kicked 3 each for the Dales, and Caelan Thornton had 30 touches and also produced 2 goals. Chelsea played in Casey Scorpion jumpers due to a clash. Zane Carter, another high possession game, averaging over 30 for the year, and Sean Foster did well as he always did, and Curtis Bywater, but it's the same people every week, and Chelsea in real trouble. A 16-point win to Pearstone.
Fantastic for Pearstone. Great win. Luke Daniels, I know this kid, he's an ex-YCW junior. Thought I'd bring that.
Yeah,
But he had a great day. Look,
bother.
Thornton with 30 touches, 2 goals. I'll stop it soon. But no, look at Pearstone. They deserve that win. It's been a long time coming. They must have celebrated long and hard on Saturday night, and good luck to them. It's a great effort. You know, Chelsea, a team that we all thought would be contending for finals. You know, they've been disappointing so far. They've now got to pick the pieces up and get better than that.
They just rely on the same players, don't they?
Yeah, they do. But they've got a few. They've got others that can be better, and I'm sure they'll pick it up. But they've got to. They just can't afford to lose games against teams that they think they should beat. And
They still had a good side in. You had Gardner, McLeod, Clark, Foster, Barton, Wetnall, Francis, Look, they've got a good side on the park. Something's not right there.
Yeah.
Don't take anything away from Pearstone. They smashed them in contested disposal. They smashed them on inside 50s, so that wasn't an issue at all. They obviously put in harder. Cruz West was fantastic, as I hear it. But there's something wrong with Chelsea. There's a few murmurings before the season started that everything wasn't kosher, and they're putting it out on the park like it at the moment. So big job for Brainy to try and rally the troops and get them back on. I think he missed on the weekend, which doesn't help. But you're playing Pearstone, who haven't won a game since round 1 2019. Give me a spell, Chelsea.
Got some good kids coming through too, Pearstone, so maybe the future's looking rosy for
Yeah,
them.
that's a fantastic effort from Pearstone. Take nothing
Sure
away
is.
from them whatsoever. Great job, but there's something not quite right, Chelsea.
Now, we've certainly spoken about this, Lockie, and as we've said, Lockie Batten with us from Growth Syndicates Australia for Devon Meadows, and the jumper that I'm wearing will be worn a little bit more resplendently by Brett Delidio with the number 3 on the back. How do you feel about having him around the club? How important is it having a player of that calibre? I mean, you'll get a better idea when he turns up tomorrow with training, as you said, and plays on Sunday.
Yeah, I can't wait. As you say, any person who comes back, you know, whether it's in anything you do, like that have been to the top, to come back and, you know, not only play with us or help out, but just to have them around the club, and it brings that, you know, bit of a vibe, a good vibe, and the buzz around the club. And I'm sure that we'll get a massive crowd there, especially only being the only game Sunday.
Yeah.
So
get down there.
I'm expecting a big crowd, and I just can't wait to have him down there. So yeah.
It just indicates how far the club has come, that they get this opportunity to host an Anzac Day match. They've struggled for a few years. We know that Barry Parsons, as I mentioned earlier, and the rest of the committee have worked really, really hard to make the club relevant again. I think that's a fair enough comment, isn't it?
Yeah, the amount of work they're putting in off the ground as well, and behind closed doors is massive. And it started with round 1 being the only game with Pearstone too.
Yes.
So that was another massive thing. Any game that you have as standalone, it's huge because everyone's watching.
Yeah.
I'm tipping. So this
sure.
is just another opportunity for, you know, as a club, Devon Meadows, through every grade, whether it's netball, football, just to, you know, show what we're capable of, and we're on the way up. So I can't wait. Yeah,
It's good.
It's
Can't
very
wait.
mature of you, Lockie. Did
Thanks,
well,
Chris.
man. Yeah, you done well.
Do you mean that, Hawks?
Oh, I was sincere then. Don't worry about that.
Oh, I don't know about that. Now, tips for this week, thanks to Telstra Business and Technology Centre, South Melbourne. Everyone
to hit our strategy as a group and starting to understand how everyone sort of plays as a team. And I think we're hitting our strategy in the fourth round, so I think these games are crucial to win early on. You want to win these ones, so I think we'll get Mornington, and I can't wait. It's going to be a massive day. So,
Are Mornington wearing an Anzac Day strip or not?
I wouldn't know, Dan.
Right.
I've been a bit busy this week around the track.
Haven't had a chance to
I haven't
pull
had a
up.
chance
I should have checked it myself.
Oh, well, you've had a big week as well, mate. So, yeah, look, no. I will go down. Look, if Jacko Calder, you keep him under 2, Devon are going to win this game. I think he'll kick 8, and I think Mornington will win.
I agree. I think Mornington win.
I'll have to run through him the first 2.
Good luck.
Mornington have got a little bit too much polish, I believe, and it's not all Jackson Calder. There's a lot of other guys
sure
as
it
well.
Isn't, sure it isn't.
But Devon, you guys are flying, doing well. Good luck, but unfortunately, I'm not picking you this week.
No, I think Mornington will get over the line. But if
that's harsh.
if Lockie's able to run through Jackson Calder, it'll be like Laurie Fowler and John Nichols in the early stages of the 1973
maybe not
grand
me,
final.
someone bigger. But
Yeah, maybe. But if you do that and you get up and keep going, it'll be a wonderful performance. But we don't want that, though. We want both players to play the full game. Lockie,
That's harsh. Before you say that,
Yeah.
Lockie's probably the only one who's come in and you haven't rallied around him and give him a back rub and supported their side.
I have them wearing the jumper. I
haven't
thank you
tipped
very
them.
much for
You
letting
haven't
him.
tipped
Well,
them.
I just don't think they'll win, but I think
We
they'll
had
get close.
Steve in
It'll be
last
great.
week and you're all over him. And Lockie's come in and you didn't back him.
Thank you for letting me wear the jumper. It's an outstanding jumper, which Brett Delidio will wear tomorrow. We look forward to having him involved in the MPNFL on Sunday. Big day for Devon Meadows on Sunday. Just before I go, thanks so much to the Mornington Peninsula Nepean Football League community and Netball League community for all their help in supporting me through some tough times with mental health this week. If you've got issues with your mental health, make sure you speak to people, because if you don't, trouble can occur down the track. Just make sure you're always open, keep talking to people, and that'll make you better as life progresses. Thanks very much, everyone. Good on you, Chris. Good on you, Cappy. Thanks so much, Lockie. Good luck on the weekend.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks to all our sponsors, Growth Syndicates Australia, Jeff Wignall Ford, Franks and RSL, HP and CP Electrical, and Telstra Business Technology Centre, South Melbourne, and O'Brien Real Estate, who, of course, will be our major sponsor for the big First Division game on Saturday. Look forward to it at Jubilee Park between Frankston YCW. Thank you, Wayne Cap. Up against the Frankston Bombers.
Go Bombers.
No barracking while broadcasting, please, Chris Holcomb. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Reese. And get your game face on.
Get your game face on.